glomerular filtration rate, renal blood flow, and the filtration-fraction. We will be looking into the characteristics of filtration barrier as well as the GFR renal blood flow and filtration-fraction characteristics. So starting from the different segments of nephron, as you can see over here, from the glomerulus till the renal tubules, the filtration, the GFR is, as you know, is occurring at the level of glomerular capillaries into the Bowman's capsule. This image is showing the balance between glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, and tubular secretion. The resultant is going to decide the level of a substance going into the urinary excretion, as we have discussed in the previous session. This image is showing the structure of the glomerular capillaries. If you look into the detail, this is the Bowman's capsule, and inside you can appreciate these are the glomerular capillaries which are receiving the blood from the afferent arteriole, and then after the filtration the blood is draining into the efferent arterioles. Along the glomerular capillaries, if you see the magnified version, you can appreciate different layers over here. Outside you can see the podocyte foot processes, in between there are filtration slits, and between the podocyte foot processes and capillary endothelial layer you can appreciate the basement membrane, and innermost is the capillary endothelial layer, among which you can see the capillary pores or fenestrations. If we look into the detail of the glomerular capillary, it is thrown into 3 layers which are offering high permeability, still selectivity to the movement of substances across the capillary. The 3 layers include the capillary endothelial layer, the innermost one. In between the capillary endothelial layers, you can appreciate these fenestrations. These fenestrations are carrying fixed negative charges on the endothelial cell proteins, and the size of these fenestrations is approximately 70 to 90 nanometer diameter. Next, the second layer is this basement membrane. Again, the collagen and proteoglycans in this basement membrane are negatively charged. Third, we have epithelial cell layer of podocytes. In between them, there are gaps known as filtration slits, and these are also called as slit pores, which are again negatively charged. Podocytes, as you can appreciate over here in this image, are throwing their folds on the capillary membrane, are thrown into primary foot processes, and which are further dividing into smaller secondary foot processes. And the gaps between them you can appreciate are labeled as filtration slits, which are negatively charged and about 20 to 30 nanometer diameter. Then we can see the mesangial cells in this image present alongside the capillary wall. Usually these are present in between the capillary endothelial cells, located between the basal lamina and the endothelium. This is the basal lamina and this is the endothelial layer, and in between you can see this labeled mesangial cell in purple color. These are contractile cells, and by their contraction and relaxation they can increase or decrease the surface area available for the glomerular filtration. Additional functions of these mesangial cells include secretion of extracellular matrix. They can uptake the immune complexes, so they have a role to play in autoimmune diseases as well. Also involved in progression of the glomerular diseases by leading to the sclerosis and the immune reactions. If we talk about the filterability across the glomerular capillary, as we know, it has 3 layers and pores in between which are negatively charged. Ultimately, the filtration across the capillary is governed by the size of the molecule being filtered as well as the charge on that molecule. If you look into this tabulation, as we see, the molecular weight of the substances is increasing. From water to the albumin, their filterability is decreasing. So the filterability is inversely proportional to the size of the molecule. The larger it is, less permeable it will be. Plus the charge on the molecule has a important role to play, as the slit pores and the fenestrations and the basement membrane, all three layers are having negative charges in the glomerular capillary membrane. So this is going to retard the filtration of negatively charged substances and promote the filtration of positively charged substances. For example, this graph is showing the filterability of neutral dextrans as compared to the polycationic dextrans, which is much more, and anionic dextrans is much less. Proteinuria. Normally, the proteins are not filtered across the glomerular capillaries because of the size as well as the negative charge on these proteins. This is a scenario showing proteinuria. A 6-year-old girl presenting with edema and puffiness, blood pressure is elevated, and serum chemistry is showing normal serum creatinine level, but decreased serum albumin and urinary protein loss, proteinuria, and she is a case of Nephrotic-syndrome. So whenever you look into any patient with proteinuria, think of something wrong with the glomerular capillary, because normally the proteins are not lost in the urine because of the small size of fenestrations and the presence of negative charges on the glomerular capillary membrane. Now we will look into the details of the GFR, as we have seen the capillary glomerular membrane structure, and we know there is going to be filtration of the substances across the glomerular capillary. Now, what is this filtration? GFR stands for glomerular filtration rate. So the amount of plasma filtered into the Bowman's capsule per unit time is known as the GFR, as it is a rate. So this is going to occur per unit of time, and rest is self-explanatory. The plasma being filtered into the Bowman's capsule per unit time is called as GFR. Normal value is 125 milliliters per minute or 180 liters per day. Composition of glomerular capillary filtrate. As we discussed in the previous session, plasma is freely filtered across the glomerular capillaries into the Bowman's capsule with the exception of the plasma proteins. So it resembles plasma, excluding the proteins, blood cells, and those low molecular weight substances which are bound to proteins. For example, the bound proportion of calcium to the proteins is not going to be filtered. Fatty acids bound to proteins or the hormones bound to the proteins are not going to freely filter across the glomerular capillaries. Next is filtration-fraction. As we know, there is blood coming from the afferent arteriole to the glomerular capillaries and going out via the efferent arterioles. So it's not the 100% blood which is filtered into the Bowman's capsule, but only a fraction of it gets filtered into the Bowman's capsule and rest goes back by the efferent arteriole. So the fraction of the renal plasma flow that is filtered across the capillaries is known as filtration fraction. How we calculate it? GFR. This was the proportion which was filtered. Proportion of what? Renal plasma flow. So GFR divided by renal plasma flow, we get the filtration fraction, which is normally, let's see how much. Normal GFR is 125 ml per minute and renal plasma flow is 625 ml per minute. If you do the calculation, it comes out to be approximately 0.2. On in percentage, you can say it's approximately 20% of the renal plasma flow which is being filtered at the level of the glomerular capillaries. Renal blood flow. We have already seen the distribution of the vessels, arteries, veins across the nephron and the kidneys in our previous session on physiological anatomy of the kidney. To quickly review, it's 1200 ml per minute. That is approximately 22 to 25% of the cardiac output, which is much more than the metabolic needs of the kidney for the purpose of excretion of the waste products majorly. That is why the arteriovenous oxygen gradient is very low, because let's suppose the arterial blood entering the renal vessels had partial pressure of oxygen, let's suppose 97 millimeters of mercury, the venous blood would still be having a much higher, let's suppose 85 millimeters of mercury, a very low gradient, because this was the amount of oxygen which was required by the kidneys for the metabolic needs. The rest was the blood was coming for its own sake for the filtration of the waste products. Also, a special feature of blood flow to the renal vasculature, blood flow to the medulla via the vasa recta is much low as compared to the renal cortical flow. As you can appreciate, this is the cortex, this is where medulla and the renal pyramids, and especially at the apex of these renal pyramids at the level of renal papilla, the blood flow is too much low that in case of hypotension or decreased renal blood flow, this is the area which is most prone to the ischemia. We call it renal papillary necrosis because it was receiving such a low proportion of the blood supply that if the total amount of blood flow to the kidneys decrease, this is where the damage is going to occur first. Renal blood flow we can calculate from the renal blood plasma flow by dividing it with 1 minus hematocrit. Renal blood flow is like that of any other organ system, is governed by the difference between pressure delta P, that is difference between its arterial and venous pressure, divided by the total renal vascular resistance. This image is showing the comparative pressures and resistance at different levels of the renal vasculature. As you can see, it is much higher at the level of afferent arterioles, little bit decreased in the glomerular capillaries and efferent arterioles, and a drastic drop after that. So the resistance is very high at the level of efferent arteriole, or to be very specific, highest at the level of the efferent arterioles. That is why the peritubular capillaries, vasa recta are having a very low pressure and decreased blood flow to the medulla. Layers of glomerular capillary membrane from inside to the outside. Can you now recall? Endothelial cells, basement membrane, and the epithelial cells, that is podocytes. Special characteristics: fenestrations, negatively charged collagen, and podocytes with the negatively charged slit pores. Significance we have discussed. I hope now you can arrange these substances by their filterability across the glomerular capillary membrane. Just remember the rule that filterability is inversely proportional to the molecular weight. If we look into the particularities of albumin, its size is 6 nanometer and size of glomerular capillary membrane is 8 nanometer, but still this is not filtered across the glomerular capillaries. Can you think of why? Let me give a clue. Albumin is negatively charged. Which layer of glomerular capillary filtration barrier carries negative charges? I hope you know now. What is filtration fraction? GFR divided by renal plasma flow, or the amount or proportion of the plasma being filtered at the level of glomerular capillaries, which is 20% normally. That's all about the overview of GFR, renal blood flow, and the filtration fraction. Thank you.